Hello, this is a video about how I make my videos, requested by Mike Digi at dpreview.com. There are two sorts of videos, easy ones and difficult ones from my point of view. I should say, by the way, I'm new to all this video stuff, so I'm probably doing it all wrong. I'm sure there's much better ways of doing it, but I'll just describe what I do. Two sorts of videos. There's the simple ones are where I capture something that's going on the screen. And the more complicated ones are the ones like I'm doing now, where I'm talking to the camera or looking at other real world things. Most of the videos that I do, all but one in fact, are very low resolution, and that's because I've got a download speed of 4 megabits a second, and so an upload speed of 1/10 of that, and it takes an interminable amount of time to upload these videos. Quite apart from the fact that I suppose it's possibly nicer for people who haven't got very big, very fast download speeds. In terms of what's involved, I think there are 4 steps. Preparations, capturing the video, editing it, and publishing it. In terms of preparation, it helps if you think about what the content is going to be, although I have to say I haven't done an awful lot of that for this particular video. You can take notes. I'm looking at notes now. I'm reading from. This is the sum total of my notes as to what I'm going to talk about in this video. So it's a little sketchy. You also have to sort out any props that you're going to use. In this case, there aren't really going to be any. But when I'm demonstrating equipment, I have to get it all lined up and put somewhere where I can get at it conveniently. As speaking notes, like I've got now. Incidentally, I could, I suppose, make these more briefer and more to the point and less rambling if I worked to a script. The problem with working to a script is that it, I think, can sound rather mechanical, and I'd rather just take my time over it, and I'm sorry if it's a bit lengthy, although you can speed these things up at YouTube. You have to get the technology ready, and there's 2 aspects to that. One is the cameras that are being used. Now at the moment I've got 3 cameras running. I'm going to start a 4th one now. So if I start taking a video with this, if it lets me, that's better. And so I've got 4 cameras. I've got a little camera here. Oh, there we go. This is all good stuff. I've pressed the off key rather than the take a video key. Might edit that bit out, might not. So I'll try and take a video, and I can zoom in, and I've got one here which is the one that's been looking at me so far. Then I've got another 2 over here. One of them is a broader view of me from sort of 45 degrees at the back, and the other one is actually focused in on the screen. And that may seem a bit strange considering that I've got software that can capture the screen, but in a moment I want to show you what it looks like when I'm setting up the software to capture the screen, which I can't capture with the software that I use to capture the screen, if you see what I mean. So you've got some technology, and you have to get the cameras sorted out. The other thing is, of course, if you're using software on the PC, which is quite a lot of what I've been doing recently, you have to arrange for it to be captured. Now, I'm using low resolution, and in fact the video is going to end up as 640 by 480. I'm recording at twice that, and I can record that area. Now previously I've been using open broadcasting software, which is open source, but it hasn't actually been recording absolutely everything that goes on the screen, which has been a bit of a problem. And just this morning I loaded up Faststone Capture, which I think I may use in future. I'll probably have to pay them $20, but that's fine. I owe them some money anyway, because I've been using Faststone for a long time and not getting round to giving them a donation. So giving them $20 or whatever it is to use Faststone Capture is a pretty good deal in my book. It looks like it may work, and what I'll do is if I can get this to work now, I've now set it up, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, so that there is an area which is twice 640 by 480, and I've aligned it onto 2 bits of software that I'm using. It's now getting ready to record, and I'll tell it to start. So this is now recording what's going on in this box in the screen. And I've got 2 bits of software lined up there. This one is Silky Pix, and the other one is Lightroom. So I can now do things in these pieces of software and record what's happening on the screen. So obviously before you start you have to get sorted out what resolutions you're using and get things aligned and so on. That's a bit of a lark when you start out, but once you get the idea of what works, it's actually not too bad. Then you come to actually capturing the thing. Oh, by the way, one thing I haven't mentioned is each of these 3 cameras is capturing sound. And that one was as well when I had it on. I've got it turned off now. And if I'm using the screen, this software, which is still running by the way, will capture the sound as well. But I'm not using the sound from any of those, because when I'm talking to camera, especially if I move around, which I do in some of the videos, the sound quality alters depending on which bit of equipment you're gathering it from. So what I'm using is an MP4 recording device. I don't know what the proper name for these things is. It's a Sony something or other. And I've got a lapel mic there. And so that's how I'm recording the sound for this video. When I'm capturing off the screen, I tend to use a microphone like this, and my PC is very noisy when it gets going, and Silky Pix in particular is pretty heavy in its usage of the processors. So what I do is try and get the microphone as close as I can to me, so that it's picking up me rather than all the other stuff that's going on. And so I use this thing, a pop filter, which means that the P's and the B's don't attack you when you're listening to it. Hopefully they don't. Well, of course I'm not using a pop filter now, I'm actually recording from here. But when I'm using the screen, I'm recording from here. And I have it arranged so that I can get really close to it, and so the gain is not turned up on the amplifier, on the microphone. And I made a video a couple of days ago, and it was about Silky Pix, and the processor was going like mad, and the PC was whining, and the next door neighbour was using his chainsaw as well. I think I had the window open as well. But I couldn't hear any of it on the video, which was quite gratifying. But I do, get myself very close to it like this. Pop filter, microphone, software still running. Get this out of my way. Oh. Yeah, so when you're capturing it, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you can start and stop, and you can edit it anyway and fit things together. But I quite like taking it all in one go if I can, which is what I'm going to try and do with this. Of course, the cameras will probably run out of battery power at some point, but there we go. Then you come to editing, and I've been using, can't remember what it's called, I've been using Serif Movie Plus X6, a paid for product, does what I want it to, and you can do things like cutting bits out when you forget what you're going to say and you're ohing and umming. And you can move from what you're seeing on one camera to another, or what you're seeing from a camera onto what's going on the screen that you're capturing with the screen software. You can put text overlays on it so that when I make a mistake I can put something on the video which says, actually no, he's wrong about that, it wasn't like that. And sometimes I put still images in. When I'm talking about images that I've captured, or other people have captured for that matter, I show them on the video. And that's all possible with the editing software. When you're using multiple sources like this, the editing can get a bit interesting. And so I do something at the beginning, when I've got everything running, I either cough or I do that, so that I've got something definite that I can use to align them at the beginning, so that they run in parallel with one another. When you've edited it, you output it to in my case, an MP4 file, and you then upload it to, or I upload it to YouTube. And so that does take a long time. And then I do my bureaucracy. I have a lot of images, and I've got a few videos now, and so I have a spreadsheet where I have a list, which, and you may have noticed, or actually at DP Review you wouldn't have noticed, on another site that I go to, people will notice that when I pull in an image from Flickr, it's got a very strange set of numbers on it, like 084609, and then a date and so on. And I just have a list in my spreadsheet which tells me each sequential number and a title for that particular set of images, or in the case of videos, for the video. And that helps me keep track of what I've got. I also, in terms of bureaucracy, as soon as I've made the video, as with still images, as soon as I've captured them and got them onto the PC, I back them up and put them onto a separate drive, which spends most of its time not connected, so that if there's a lightning hit, and our neighbour at the back did get hit by lightning actually, had a fire in their loft, it did for all their electrical stuff, which has made me especially cautious about doing backups. And if you don't do backups, you should, you'll regret it if you don't sometime, possibly. So I'll do the bureaucracy. So there we are, that's the videos. Making videos. Easy ones when it's just on the screen, and the editing is an absolute doddle with those. More complicated with a video like this, where I have to spend some time sorting out which bit to take from where. You've got preparation, the capture, the editing, and the publishing. And that's what's involved in making my videos. It may sound a bit complicated, but actually it's not too bad, and more important, I'm enjoying it. So that's all for now. Goodbye.